Mark and Alyssa document a 1968 383 Magnum Charger.
Right now, Alyssa and I are getting ready to inventory a 1968 Dodge Charger. This is a non-RT car. What's cool about it is it's a one-owner car. Had one paint job, mostly Survivor original type condition.
I'm really excited to jump back here and see what the cars look like before we tear them down.
Okay, Alyssa, this is a 68 Charger. It's a 383 Magnum.
I haven't done a Charger yet, and since I drive a Charger now, it's going to be pretty exciting to see how the older original ones were done.
A couple interesting things before we get looking at the car that I like about them. The 68 Charger is considered to be the sleekest and the coolest of all three of the second generation Chargers. Charger was introduced in 66, went through 67. That was the first generation. That was like the white one that we had last season in here. That great big one, kind of looked like an upside down bathtub. Second generation, 68 to 70, the most popular of them all. Made popular by their look, but also in iconic movies like Bullet. One of the things that's cool about 68, you look at this bezel that surrounds the headlights in here.
Yeah.
It's meant to look exactly like a continuation of the grille. They dropped that in 69. So back here, there's just steel brackets back behind the headlight doors, because when these come down,
oh, it finishes the grill.
So yeah, it's the sleek grill. But at night, vacuum motors would pull this open, and they wanted to still have that cool look of the grill, so they kept the surround. Now 69 and 70, they didn't do that.
Okay.
While
The round side markers, that was the first year the Department of Transportation even required them. Prior to that, in 67, there were no side markers. This was so you could see a car at night from the side. They never had that before. They had reflectors.
Oh, okay.
These actually light up. In 69, they got moved down a little bit and they were square, almost square. They were a little bit of a rectangular. In 70, they had almost a teardrop shape to them. But that's the genesis of the side markers. Standing at a glance, looking at a 68 to 70 Charger, just at a basic glance, very similar cars, very similar. The 70 had a flare that went right here that covered up these two scallops in the door. But the rest of the lines, the quarter panel lines, the door lines where they intersect with the fenders, very, very similar, almost identical. These are called the bullet taillights. Everybody calls them the bullet taillights. Two round, bullet-shaped, if you will, taillights. I still think they got the bullet taillight nickname because in the movie with Steve McQueen, the villain was driving a jet black 68 RT that had the bullet taillights. Chrysler didn't call them that, they were just the taillights in 68. By 69, they got rid of the round circular taillights and they opted for a long one that kind of went like this. It was an elongated one, and it was almost identical in 70, just slightly different trim on it and slightly different inlay pattern on them. So there's your 1, 2, 3s on the second generation Charger. But you got to admit, considering this was 50 years ago, that's a good looking car. That's a good, sexy body style.
This is still a good looking car. I love the scoops in the door.
Looks
I love
like
the
it's going-
headlights. I mean, it was well thought out.
Next time you go out in your little Charger, take a real nice look at this pattern in the doors. Take a look at the one in yours. Yeah, they're different, but you can see this influence in those front doors, that reverse scallop. Totally cool. Totally cool.
One of my favorite.
Have a seat inside there. These are cool. First off, take a look at the interior.
Oh, that's awesome.
The two-tone green.
Yeah, I like the green.
Interesting side note here. If the interior were white in 68, the seats were a pearl white. They weren't just white metallic. They weren't just white fabric or material. They actually had a pearl inlaid into them.
Oh, that's cool.
Really unique 68 stuff. But look at the map pouch here. That's what they call the map pouches. So you put your trash in there, your map, or whatever.
Anything you want to put in a map?
Anything you want to put in there, Chris. Yeah. The center console.
Gonna need a new one.
The alphanumeric code for the center console is A6. That's Alpha 6, later to be C16. The alphanumeric code for the bucket seats, which you could get with or without a console, is Charlie 6 Foxtrot. If you had an overhead consolette, like in the E-bodies, it was C26.
Oh, hey, look, they're ready to go down to the lake or the
they're
river.
heading out to the
Let's not open that.
Dead
Who knows
stuff
what's
in there.
Yeah. Whew.
Take a look at this. This is an original 68.
Looks original.
In 69, this area down through here, let's see, in 69, this was silver and this was wood grain. But look at the condition of the dash. The little bullet up there, that's factory. That
what
little
is
round
this?
thing. I'm not
Just
sure.
a decoration, kind of?
I'm not sure. But all of them had it in 68. It did have it before you broke it.
It pops back in there.
Yeah, yes.
With the documentation of the 1968 Charger nearly complete, the ghouls are let loose to disassemble the vehicle.
They still have to take the vinyl top off and a couple of moldings, but otherwise the car is completely disassembled. There's a couple things to show you that are easy to see right now.
I'm excited to walk around the car at this stage of the process.
Kind of like a sheep with a shepherd kind of walking it through the hazardous
I don't know if I'd say
stuff.
that.
Wow.
But
Remember, in '68 was the last year that they put the shipping order number in the body panels, not the VIN number. And so you've got a VIN number written down still from when you looked at it? Okay. All right. Here, though, you see Bravo 8 X-ray.
yeah.
And then it's got 105021. That's not going to match the VIN number on the dash. It's only going to match the shipping order number that's on the fender tag. So when we're done, I'll grab you the fender tag, but write down that SO number right there. So again, this won't match the VIN, it'll only match the shipping order number, and the shipping order number only appears on two pieces of nomenclature that you get with the car. One is the fender tag, the other is the build sheet. We didn't find a build sheet in this car, so we have to hope that the fender tag matches that number, and that means that core support hasn't been replaced. The other area of the B-bodies from 68 on up, other than the 71, I call them B-bodies, so it's your 68, 70, Charger, Roadrunner, Satellite, GTX, those kind of cars. 68, they put what number on the core support?
The shipping order.
That's what you've written down there, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to match the VIN. In 69, they put the VIN on the core support, so it's okay just to match the core support and the trunk lip up to the dash VIN.
What's the shipping order number? Because I understand the VIN breaks down.
It's kind of like a VIN is assigned to a car, a shipping
Yeah.
order number is assigned to a car.
Okay.
And so they reference that on the assembly line as well as to what shipping order number it is, and then they assign it a VIN. So it's a way to keep track of that one particular car. It's very much like a VIN, but it's just not. On the B-bodies, underneath
Moose.
this weather strip right here, why am I a moose? You got your foot in the way. It was your
Crazy.
foot. And scrape this down, and we should find another version of the shipping order number. It gets lots of paint and crap in there, so you got to clean that out. So let me grab a rag and some brake cleaner real quick. Okay. So if the trunk lip, which I suspect does match the shipping order number on the core support, and I suspect will match the fender tag, at that point, we'll know that we have a numbers matching body at least. See if you can make that number out.
BAXI 0502I.
And how's that match up against the one on the radiator support? Perfect. Okay. The body numbers all match on this car. That's great. Even though I can see by these welds right here, these bubbles, I think it's had a quarter panel put on it at some time. It's too bad because it's already rotten out.